Aboshishe, Eku Oshe, Ogun, and Ochosi. May the way always be clear, and may all our prayers be answered. So I wanted to come on today. Well, let me back up. Okaranka, Jalume, Jaluke, Ifa's declaration to Akan Gigi the gun. He was advised to offer a bow. He complied. The same mouth that you use to speak with is the same mouth that you use to overcome enemies. Jalume, Jaluke. So may we always say the right thing, right? May we live by the right code. May our words be reflective of our thoughts. May our actions line up with what we say. So, that being said, something very interesting happened to me the other day. So, I was in this chat in this group, and so someone messaged me about a comment that I made in the group, in the chat. And so when they messaged me, they only saw part of the messages. So when I entered into the group, I greeted everyone because I'm a Babalao, so it's a Boru Boya Boshishe. And I asked those who responded with the greeting what level of initiation or what initiation that they had. So I let, I'm Ifa, Egungun, Egbe. So the other people started saying things like, this is my head, Orisa. This is who have my head. So I asked the level of initiation. So it's important that we understand that, right? The level of initiation dictates the type of reading that we have. So let me explain that. Anybody coming to Ifa or any tradition has a certain level of reading. It only lasts 3 to 4 months. So then once you become more immersed, indoctrinated into Ifa or Orisa, right? Because they're the same thing. People try to split them because it suits them, but it's not possible. All Orisa except for Osa'in were initiated to Ifa. So that means that the Orisa are governed by the rules and principles of Ifa. So you got different Odus, Ogbe, Barada, Ogbe on the right, no Bar on the left. You got Ogbe Sa, you got Irete Turapon. You got these different Odus, Irete Alaje, Irete on the right, and Ose on the left. You have these different Odus that tell us when and what Orisa was initiated to Ifa. What were their circumstances, right, behind the initiation? So even in Oturagasa, these it talks about the different levels of initiation that are available, full initiation or Isefa. So as someone coming into the tradition, right, it is the first reading that you have is only a reading for your current set of circumstances. It's only about 3 to 4 months. It's temporary. So then as you go on and you get more immersed into Ifa, you get Isefa, which those readings allow you to have, those levels of initiation allow you to have readings for 1 year. So those readings are, you can have them for anything. You can have them for your business. You can have them for your relationship, right? But the prerequisite to have these types of readings are Isefa, receiving one's destiny or part of it. So this is the thing that makes Ifa, special, is that we can have these concrete readings for these time periods. So how we coach people is that when you come into Ifa, you get to know Ifa, you get to learn how Ifa speaks in your life. You get to learn how the ebos are done. You get to learn all these kind of things at a surface level. So then, after you get initiated, whether it's Isefa, which allows you to have yearly readings, or Itefa, when you have these life readings, and then you can initiate into these other energies, which will also give you these life readings. So if you only have Isefa, then you can only receive a yearly reading. That's the max. So from a yearly reading, there's no way to tell what your head Orisha is, because you can only get a yearly reading. So when you do Itefa and you get your life Odu, this process opens up those types of readings for other energies. So in Lukumi, they'll take you through Ocha, and you'll have Ocha without Isefa. So how can you be initiated into an Orisha? We have to understand that Ifa is the one in Irete Alaje that sets out the initiations and the way and type of initiations that we do. So one with Isefa and Ifa is different than one who doesn't have Isefa in any other religion or any other sect or any other thing like Lukumi. So if you have Isefa, right, which is a hand of Ifa, that means that you're Olorisha, you're a practitioner. It's obligatory for you to participate in certain things. It's obligatory that you participate in Ita Doguns. Ifa says that in Ogunda Bede that you shouldn't miss one. It says also in Ogbe say that you should not miss an Oshe Ifa, which every 4 days, or in I think it's Oyeku D, where it tells you not to miss Ita Dogun. So Ifa has these different rules, right, for whatever level that you're at. So unless you're initiated into Ifa, you have no responsibility. But with Isefa comes responsibility. With Itefa, there's more responsibility. So with Isefa, which is a hand of Ifa, you have access to all the energies. This is why Ifa is in the position that it's in, because all the Orisha were initiated into Ifa. So all of those Orishas speak through Ifa. So if you don't have Ifa, right, or the person initiating you doesn't have Ifa, right, it's not possible to receive these types of readings. So there's a misconception, right, about head Orisha. The only way you can find out a head Orisha is through Itefa. It doesn't matter. It's not me who made the rules. It's Ifa that made the rules in Irete Alaje. Ifa is the one who dictates what rules we have, right, at what level of initiation. So it's not possible. So Ale says he's a son of Obatala. Let me explain something to you. The two entities that create Ori and Egbe are Obatala and Olodumare. So with Obatala, it is a Irumale aspect of Obatala. So because Olodumare creates the Ori and Obatala creates the Egbe, part of you stays in heaven and part of you goes to earth. Aye. So this is why we all have dreams. We all have dreams because of our Egbe in heaven. That's another story. But Olodumare creates our Ori. Obatala creates our Egbe. Your Ori goes to Ajala Moonpins. It picks its destiny. So Olodumare creates part of your character, and the test for your character, right? That happens with Akunle An and Akunle Ba. So for those who don't know, there's this going back and forth between your Ori and Olodumare, right? There's things that you ask for and there's things that you're given. So for example, I said I wanted to travel the country. Olodumare said, fine, but you're going to do it as a Babalawo. You must be initiated in Ifa before you are able to do these things. So back to being a Orisa or having a hand at Ifa, you're able to communicate with Ifa. You're able to do different things to appease your destiny. In Nigeria, with the hand of Ifa, there is not anything that you can't do under the tutelage of Babalawo, Oluwo. So what happens is when people go through Ocha, they don't even have Ifa a lot of the times. So how can you receive a life reading with an energy that you haven't received the way that the energy communicates? Remember, all of the Orisha were initiated to Ifa except Osain. Ogboato, Asuri, Iwori, Wofun. So it's important we understand that. So there's the guy told me in the group that the woman gave him his head Orisha. I told him it's not possible. He said that women can cast Ifa. Yes, I agree. I've taught women how to cast Ifa in different ways using iwa-pele. Right? But the place in which you find out who your head Orisha is in Ifa initiation, Itefa, Ibodu. In Itefa or in Ibodu, your life energy is cast. That's the only way that you can do that. So based on the Odu that is cast for you at that time, right, by the Babalawo, no Iyanifas are present because why? They can't see Odu. So it's important we understand that. If Iyanifas cannot see Odu, then how can they even create a king? It's important we understand that. Iyanifas do not see Odu. Women do not see Odu. It tells us in the Tegbe. I recommend that you always research your teacher, right? You talk to people, you see where they at, right? You see where they at. I can suggest me, right? But that wouldn't be fair. So following the rules, the guy in the group said that he agrees that it was a rule. He said that the rule was misogynistic and they're moving away from those rules now. Then it's not Ifa. We have to understand that. So there's Iyanifas out here doing different things. There's Babalaos out here doing different things as well. Right? That they shouldn't be doing. They just should not be doing, because even though they've developed a relationship with these energies, it doesn't really help the person's life to be better. It keeps them off of their purpose. So again, what makes a Babalao able to create a king, right, is his initiation, because he sees Odu. So Odu helps the Babalao have the sight in order to make Ikin, consecrate Ikin, and then cast with them. So this is why a lot of people say that women should not cast, because of the vision, the sight. It is only through Odu that the sight is gained. It tells us in the Tegbe, right? It tells us that in order for Orumila to receive this energy, Odu, right, that no woman must ever look upon it. So if no woman is ever to look upon it, then no woman can birth and create a king. That also means that no woman can put you through Itefa. So it is through the reading in Ibodu or Itefa that one will receive their Odu for their life energies. It'll tell you in the first couple of lines what your next initiation should be, what your head Orisha is. It's very important we understand this. There's a lot of people out here doing a lot of different things, right? Even someone that has been through Ocha that doesn't have Ifa can't open that path for you. It's important we understand that too. So one of the conversations that I have with people is that if you know something is not the truth, why do you do it? If you know that Lukumi takes you these other steps instead of taking you straight to your destiny. So that's another thing. You don't need anything to go through Itefa. You don't even need a reading. So you can go through Itefa, right? You can go, hey, Baba, I want to get Itefa. And the Babalao has to take you to Itefa. It's actually taboo to place things in front of one's destiny. We have to understand that. It is taboo to place things in front of one's destiny. If someone asks for Itefa, the rules of Ifa dictate that the person must pass straight to Itefa. That's Ifa. So anything that they tell you or any place that they take you other than there is placing things in front of your destiny, and it's taboo. It's taboo. So I'm saying this, so anyway, the guy is going back and forth, and it's clear that he don't understand the first half of the messaging. It's clear that he don't, because I said Iyanifas can't tell you who your head Orisha is. So, you know, in these different places in America, right, in the US, there's these women that have these houses, and they do good work for people. That's not what we're at odds about. What I'm discussing is that they can't tell you who your head Orisha is because they're not the ones who do that reading. They're not the ones who go to Ibodu and cast the Ifa because they can't see Odu. The initiation between men and women are different. Women don't see Odu. Men do. So you may ask, why is it like that? Why is it like that? A lot of women in the tradition are at odds with their own energy. So it is for women to give birth, right, to people. So inside of each one of us, there is every Orisha. Let's understand it. Obatala is the white blood cells, right? The way that the blood moves through your veins is another Orisha. Eshu is at the base of the neck, right? You have all these different Orisha. I can't even name every body system, but there's an Orisha that is over that. This is what women's purpose are, to give birth to the Orisha in human beings. It is the man's job to give birth to Orisha in a different way. This is the point of the way things are, and it keeps things in balance. It keeps things in harmony because women give birth to Orisha in the flesh. Babalaos give birth to Orisha in icons or through a spiritual way, manifestation, bringing us our consciousness in tune with these energies. So we all must stay in our lane. So it tells us in Oshetura that even though Oshun could divine for Olodumare, that she could not tell Olodumare all the things that Olodumare was thinking. It's true that Oshun was able to tell Olodumare some of the things that he was thinking, right? That Cowrie, Marin de Lagoon could not go back to the first thing. So that's the thing with Opwele and Iking. It will tell us the first thing. It will go back into the future completely to the thing that got us in this situation. It could be an argument. It could be borrowing things from people. It could be receiving money that you shouldn't have. It could be a lot of different things. But this is the point behind Opwele and Iking and Cowrie, or even Obi. So it's not that the system is trying to castigate women or be misogynistic. It's that the roles and the roles of men and women are different. The mother gives birth to the child, right? And the father is the disciplinarian. typically. The father is the hunter-gatherer, right? He's built differently, right? He thinks differently, right? So these are roles that even Ifa helps us to realize. It helps us to realize. So we must be mindful, right, of some of these initiations that we pay for, right? That one, the people must have their initiation. They must be initiated into Ifa. So that's another thing. When it comes to initiations, Ifa is really specific on the things that we must do. Right? Ifa will tell us in Irete Alaje the certain things that we need to do. We need to cast, it's called Adawomi. This must be done with Opwele. You can't do it with cowrie shells because it's not going to diagnose the first thing that brought us to initiation. It's not going to. It's not going to diagnose the thing that got us into the situation that we are in now, currently. So how can you proceed through initiation without knowing that information? So this is why you can't use cowrie. This is why the Babalawo have to be present. The Babalawo have to be present. The Babalawo has to cast Adawomi with Opwele, right, to open a way for the initiation. It's even done with Isefa. So that's the first day. The second day, there's other things that's done with Itefa. It's different than Isefa, but you enter into the grove and you do whatever you got to do in there. So when you enter into the grove, we know that Odu is there. We know that Odu is in the grove. So if Odu is in the grove, guess who's not in the grove? Women. It's not visible to them. They can't look upon it. It's a common thing with Ifa. So the point is that going through Itefa, being able to see this energy, being able to be in the presence of this energy allows you certain sight when it comes to others. It allows you to birth Ikin to a certain level. So each Babalawo has or should receive this energy at a certain point during their lifetime. So once they do receive it, then they're able to give other people their life energy. If you don't have it, then it's not possible. So there's these all-female lineages and all this other kind of stuff. There's these women, and it's not against women because I love them. I'm married to one. She got Ashe. She got Ashe. Her Ashe is different from mine. Men, we have to do the heavy lifting. My wife can just show up, spit some gin, and say, oh, it's all good, and she out of there. I'm not taking anything from women. The thing is that we all need to be clear on what our roles are. Women do not make Ikin. They can't consecrate them because they can't COD at any level. So if they can't do that, then they can't give you an initiation into an Orisa. How? She can't birth Ikin. Now, once the Ikin are already consecrated, yes, a woman can cast with them. A woman can learn Opwele, and she can do these things. But we're talking about the birth of the thing. It's not possible. We have to understand that. And when we understand that, it helps us to move forward in a way that's sure. So what I would like to ask, if there is an Odu Ifa where Oshun, Oya, Yemaya, where any of these energies initiated someone, please provide it. Please provide it. Even in the Turagasa, right? It was the Oluwo, Alapanseki, I believe, who initiated Oluko, who initiated Okuko, who initiated Odidire. It was a man. It was a rumor that traveled all over the world initiating people. It was a Rumula. It was a Rumula. Oruma had Akoda, Seta, he had Ofun Ajitena, right? Oruma had these different Omawo, even in Ejiogbe. Even in Ejiogbe. Right? Otototo, Aroro, severally do we erect our homes, and severally do we live in those homes. The wisdom with which we erect those homes is not as much when we live in those homes. Ifa's declaration to Orumla when 4 Ajogun invaded the city of Ife and he evacuated them without success. He was advised to offer, but he complied. Before long, not too far, join us in the midst of success. So it shows us, right, in this Odu Ifa, Orumla cast Ifa offered a bow to free Ile Ife from death, loss, sickness, and contention. And Orumla, it was one thing that Orumla didn't do. So he went to his Omawo to cast Ifa again and said, Baba, it is, you need Obi and Atari. So where you see death, throw one part of the Obi and Atari. So where death was, it changed into prosperity. Where loss was, it changed into long life. Where there was contention, it turned into children. Where it was sickness, it turned into spouse. So it's important, right? Because I understand knowledge is power. And what you don't know, you don't know. So what the guy was trying to say was that a woman cannot initiate, he was saying that I said that women cannot cast Ifa. I told him, you didn't look at my page. You look at my page. I've taught women how to cast Ifa with iwa-pele, which I received backlash and criticism behind that. My 9-year-old, Ade Tutu, female, learning iwa-pele. We even taking women to Africa for Itefa. So it's not possible. It's certain things that's not possible. And as long as we understand the truth about things, it helps us. So it's not possible that anyone other than in Itefa, when you're in the Ifa Grove and you're going through Ibodu, when you receive your life reading, this is how you know what your tutelary Orisa is. If I'm wrong, provide a verse. Ask your Baba Ifa. Ask your Iya Nifa for the verse. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. We all need to be educated. If we're doing something that the Odu does not dictate, then it's not Ifa. This is why Lukumi isn't recognized in Nigeria as you can go through Ocha, but you still are Olorisha because you haven't received Ifa. Ashe. I'm saying. So make sure we're being educated. Make sure that we questioning. Right? People out here crushing Obi and don't know the Odu that tells them to crush the Obi. People out here using water and different things in their practice, but don't understand what the water is doing. There's different verses. Oturpon Yeku says water has no enemy. Ahemi, Asomi, Dirfun Yangan. This when the corn tried to take the water as a slave. The water said, "No, I'm a flood all you out. None of you gonna grow." Or a woman Olobara. I'm sorry. A woman say. A woman Wese Tan. Dear Fon Oluwedi. That's Oshun. Again, the water. It talks about, just in the terminology in those two lines, it talks about the water that is one way on top and another way below the surface. Ogbo Ato, Asuri Wori Wofun, Ifa Shegun, plant-based game. So we have to understand the truth. We have to ask questions, right? Because our destinies depend on it. Let me reiterate again, I'm not against women. I love them. I'm married to one. But like my wife says, Baba cast the E5. That's why I'm married to a Babalawo. Cast the E5. That's why I'm married to a Babalawo. So she has some understanding about it. She knows that she can tell me something and the iwa-pele will verify. This is the power of the woman. The intuition. This is the power of the woman. The man have to use other means to help him come in alignment with that. So let's stay in our lane. Let's make sure that we're holding others accountable and that they're giving us the right information. Women can't see or do, so they can't birth the king. If they can't birth the king, right? If they can't cast the Ifa, then they can't tell you who your head Orisa is. Ashe. So let's stay informed. I'm Latona Ifa Bileke, Omo Oba, right? Lahami Ruling House, Iyadudu Royal Compound, Oshogbo, Oshun State. Let's have at it. Aburu, Aboya Aboshi She.